What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool news video where we will talk about the title race, mainly especially after Man City dropped another 2 points against Tottenham. Now Man City have 3 draws in a row and they conceded I think 10 goals in the past 4 games, which is unprecedented. It's a lot, and hopefully Man City won't be the team to break the record to win 4 league titles in a row, and I'm really hoping that Liverpool can sustain a title challenge. But Roy Keane and Gary Neville, they both believe that Man City won't win the Premier League after they dropped more points, and even before this bad run for Man City, Gary Neville said that Arsenal is going to win the title, and Roy Keane also backed Arsenal to win the title ahead of Liverpool and Manchester City. So let me know in the comments below, who do you think will win the title? I think the defense and the goalkeeper is what will decide who wins the title for Liverpool, at least, because Liverpool have the firepower and they have a brilliant midfield, but the defensive midfielder and the defense is not up to a peak Jurgen Klopp team. When Liverpool won the league with 99 points and when we got to 97 and 93 points, we had of course Alisson playing for most of the season and of course a brilliant defense. Right now I think out of the back 4, only Trent and Virgil van Dijk they are performing to the peak of their powers. Joao Matip just got another serious injury. He will be out for a long time, Jurgen Klopp said. Robertson is already injured. Tsimikas is just not the same caliber, and Alisson is injured, but thank goodness it looks like Alisson could be back sooner than expected, because later this week Alisson will join team training 2 weeks ahead of schedule, 2 weeks before the doctors expected Alisson to be back. He could be back training. I think he won't play in midweek and on the weekend, but the fact that he starts training, hopefully Alisson will be available for that big Liverpool-Manchester United game, because with Kelleher I'm not confident in Kelleher's abilities to save shots, and he's basically conceding more goals than the XG that he's facing, while Alisson is conceding like 7 or 8 goals less usually in a season than what his XG says he should concede. So Alisson is a world-class goalkeeper. Kelleher, I'm not even sure if he would be good enough for a bottom half team in the Premier League. And you can't make the argument right now that Kelleher hasn't played enough games and that's why he's not good enough. He had a good run of games now this season, and yet he still is conceding goals that he should be keeping out. But first, let's talk about the title race. So Roy Keane said that Man City may be lacking the desire and the hunger needed to bypass their Premier League counterparts, but it would be crazy to bet against the side who have won the last 3 titles, and the problem is that Man City won 5 out of the last 6 title races. But Roy Keane said, I'm starting to become doubtful about Man City winning that title. There is a reason it hasn't been won 4 years in a row before, because keeping those levels up, that hunger, desire, you get a few injuries, some of your top players are coming off it, and I think that one of the biggest misses for Man City is Gundogan, because he is putting in 10 out of 10 performances for Barcelona. I watch Barcelona regularly because my wife is a huge Barcelona fan, so we are watching every game together, every Liverpool and Barcelona game on TV, and Gundogan has been one of their best midfielders, if not the best midfielders this season, and you can see right now how influential he was for Man City, both in attack and in defense, because this Man City team is not as settled, as good as last season. They are still creating loads of chances, but defensively they are a lot more vulnerable, and I just wish that more teams had the balls to attack Man City and to really go for it and to push them when they have the chance, because usually Man City dominate possession. And I mean, Tottenham got pretty lucky that Haaland missed absolute sitters last night, because usually if Haaland scores those goals it's 3-1, 4-1 City in the end. But because Man City missed their chances, some of them, Tottenham always hang in there and they scored in the 90th minute. And the fact that Man City conceded 3 against Tottenham, 4 against Chelsea shows that they are vulnerable. and they already lost some games as well this season. And Roy Keane said, certainly Arsenal and Liverpool I'm looking at as Man City's title rivals, especially Arsenal with the strength in depth they've got and the experience of last year. Jamie Carragher said, if you ask the soul, I think we would still fancy Man City for the title. We have seen this before with Man City, where they go on a run during the second half of the season and win 10 to 12 games in a row and go away from other teams. Maybe this season Arsenal will be stronger from their experience in those moments, and we know Liverpool have been there before. With Jurgen Klopp, you can never rule Liverpool out. And Jamie Carragher said that he's happy to see the likes of Arsenal and Liverpool challenge Man City as it makes the title race more exciting. I know Micah Richards doesn't want to hear this, but for neutrals, it's good to see Man City drop points. You think of them winning the treble last season and you are thinking, who is ever going to stop them? You feel like you've got a title race now. You saw where Arsenal were last season and Man City still pegged them back. It feels like it could go to the last month of the season because of the situation Man City find themselves in. They need to get some of their better players back from injury. That is Tottenham, where Roy Keane referring to. And I think these last 3 games showed, or 4 games showed, that Tottenham are not really in the title race. But Gary Neville said, Liverpool having Jurgen Klopp at the helm, it's a factor, and it's a huge factor. And that's why Liverpool always have a chance. Arsenal have still got to demonstrate in a run-in that they can handle the pressure. Last season they folded under pressure. They dropped a lot of points in a row, and they pretty much handed Man City the title on a platter when they were ahead, and there were some injury problems for Arsenal. Saliba got injured and they just crumbled under pressure. This season Arsenal have a better squad, but Liverpool have a much better squad than last season. But last season we weren't anywhere near the title race, and I think the Fulham game showed that Liverpool can win games when they are not playing well, and Liverpool really need to shore up the defense, because we can't keep conceding 2 or 3 goals and expect winning. Gary Neville said Arsenal look like they are on track and they can handle a run-in. I'm confident they will handle a run-in better than last year, because last year they folded under pressure in every single sense. They failed. They've got more about them this season, Arsenal. I think Arsenal have got what it takes to win the league. I think with that group of players are very good. There's a lot to play for, but the more points dropped by Man City, the more confidence Arsenal and Liverpool will gain in the title race. What I would want to see is Arsenal, Man City and Liverpool in the run-in again. It would be a brilliant 3-horse race, and it usually in the end it becomes a 2-horse race. And if it's Arsenal and Man City again, it will be interesting to see how Arsenal handle it. I do feel like they will handle it. So Gary Neville is predicting Arsenal to win the title. He had predicted even at the beginning of the season after they signed Declan Rice and spent 200 million. Liverpool, I still think, are a top defensive midfielder short. I mean, if we signed a player on the level of Declan Rice, then I would be much more confident than I am right now. And also Robertson needs to come back from injury in the second half of the season and be in top form. But I think Endo is getting better. Last night was, I think, a watershed moment, because Endo came on when we were 3-2 down, and he really took the game by the scruff of the neck and helped Liverpool turn it around. He made some really good interceptions. He scored an absolutely brilliant goal. Both McAllister and Endo's first goals for Liverpool were absolute wonder goals. And McAllister even said after the game, I never scored as good a goal as that in my life. He said that's his best ever goal that he ever scored, and he scored some bangers before, so that's a really special thing. And Phil Thompson said that Endo scored a superb goal. I don't think he's getting the credit he deserves for when he came into the game, and I think Endo deserves a lot of credit. And I also want to talk about Darwin Nunez, because Darwin Nunez received a lot of criticism for him missing big chances, but he still made a massive contribution to Liverpool winning the game. For example, the strategic header to Salah, when he makes a run and receives a long ball from Konate, he then intelligently heads the ball to Salah, who then lays it off back to Endo, who picks out the top corner with a brilliant goal. And I mean, straight after Fulham kicked off, after Liverpool equalized to 3-3, 3, Darwin Nunez sprinted towards the Fulham player and immediately won back possession of the ball by blocking the Fulham player's pass, and this led to the subsequent attack that ultimately secured Liverpool's victory, where in the end, of course, it was Darwin Nunez who, after Gakpo's shot is saved, crosses the ball to the back post where Tsimikas goes up for a challenge, the ball falls to Trent, then the rest is history. He rifles it into the bottom corner. So Darwin had a very big overall impact on the game. He does way more than just score goals, and I feel that sometimes he misses chances that cost Liverpool points. For example, against Luton, if Darwin took his chances, we would have won that game. But his overall contribution is still massive to the Liverpool goals, and once he figures out to be more calm and to be more precise maybe in his finishing, then we could get an absolutely terrific player. He still is relatively young when it comes to being a striker, so I really hope that he figures out his shooting boots. The Sheffield United game against the bottom of the table side is a perfect opportunity for Darwin Nunez to get more goals, but the Sheffield United sacked their manager, so maybe they will be more rejuvenated, because David Ornstein is reporting that the Sheffield United are expected to sack their manager Paul Heckingbottom, so it's not official yet, but they are very close to sacking their manager. And I mean, Sheffield United has been just so below par throughout the whole season. The fact that they lost to Newcastle United 8-0, and I mean, losing to a fellow struggling relegation candidate Burnley 5-0, I think that was really the biggest humiliation that Sheffield United received, because you can lose 8-0 to a big team or a strong team like Newcastle, but to lose 5-0 to Burnley, no disrespect to Burnley, that is a really humiliation in my opinion. And McBurney really didn't use his head when he was elbowing people, even when he was on the yellow card. So McBurney got a red card in the first half, and that's why Burnley won by such a big margin. Gary Lineker also on his football podcast, which I absolutely love, The Rest is Football it's called, he revealed his frustration at the criticism that Trent Alexander-Arnold receives. He's a wonderful footballer, Trent. I mean, I've been a fan of his for many years. Everyone knows that. From the first few times I saw him, I used to think he has got to be a midfield player. And I think he was a midfield player as a youngster. It was one of those situations where they see a talent and they think we will get him in the team, but you can't get him in his position. He ends up going to right back, and he was so good for so long that he became a right back. It irritates me a little bit when people say he's not very good at defending, and every slight error or any goal that goes in on that side of the pitch against Liverpool, people have a pop at him. But I think the positives of his forward play and his passing, he's certainly the best passer of the ball in the English game at the moment, and probably in a much bigger area than that, maybe even Europe. His range of passing outside the foot, inside the foot, long passes, short passes, and crosses, of course. I'm loving him in this new role where he drifts into midfield and passes the ball from there. And I think Trent Alexander-Arnold, like the local hero that he is, really started taking more responsibility this season, and the way that he scored in back-to-back games, at least, I mean, he contributed massively to 3 goals, even though the free kick wasn't given to him as a goal. He scored against Man City, and now he contributed to 2 goals against Fulham. Hopefully Trent can keep these performances up. What I would do if I was Jurgen Klopp, I would rotate a little bit against Sheffield United just to keep the squad fresh, and then I would go full strength against Crystal Palace on the weekend, because that is definitely the harder game. So maybe play Gomez and Van Dijk next to each other, and play Konate and Van Dijk against Crystal Palace. Maybe I would give Endo his first start in the Sheffield United game, things like that. But Szoboszlai and McAllister should be well rested after getting an early substitution. And it was great to see after the game that Trent Alexander-Arnold, when he was celebrating the victory, he went out of the pitch and he hugged Andy Robertson, who looks like is on his way to recovery, but I still think we will have to wait another couple of months to see Andy Robertson in a Liverpool shirt. And that's it for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this. Come on Liverpool, let's win against Sheffield United, and let's hope that we can keep going in the title race and stay with Arsenal and Man City as long as possible. Thanks for watching guys, hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day, see you later, goodbye.